Hi, I'm Roan. This is my Earthbag house.
Hi, I'm Ivy. This is my shed conversion tiny house.
And we are at Camp Darkmoon. This is 2 acres out here outside Albuquerque, New Mexico. Camp Darkmoon's all about just getting people out here and exposed to this type of lifestyle, helping people realize how accessible it is. And you see 2 people, living well and being happy and think, oh, well, this is something I could do. I guess that's really the goal. Also, just to provide a community space for, people around here who just need a place to come and make friends, be themselves, feel safe. Because there's not a lot of spaces in town to really hang out and meet people. It's a very small town. It's 2 acres total, totally raw land, undeveloped, off-grid. We don't have any power, any water out here. We collect rain from the shade structure and also from my roof behind us. And for power, we just have little solar panels and these Jackery boxes that we find so convenient. Love them.
I know a lot of people are curious what our bathroom situation is. We are off-grid, so we do not have running water. We built an outhouse. It's dry compost toilets. We did add urine diverters.
So we have a number of structures here at this property. To start out, we'll show you the first couple domes that we built here. So these are the 2 Earthbag domes. This is all the camp was for the first few years of Camp Darkmoon before I made my main house. But let's talk about this small one first. This is what I made before I moved out here full time. I did it over the course of just a few weekends. It's about 300 bags total, covered with a natural earthen plaster, and then painted over with lime wash, which is a very fun, cheap material. It adds a little bit of erosion resistance and also deflects sunlight and keeps it much cooler inside during the hot summers. This is Casa Huevo, which is egg-shaped. I lived in this one for over a year straight, so I've experienced all 4 seasons in here. The reason I really like Earthbag houses, especially out here, is because they provide really good insulation against the extreme temperatures we get, either very hot or very cold outside. It stays a pretty constant temperature inside. The strong winds don't budge it at all. It is very secure, very strong.
So for those who are interested in Earthbag building, it's actually a really cool experience to stay in a dome. It's like a sensory deprivation tank in a way, and you get really restful sleep in here. And it could be just crazy windy on the outside, and you're really protected when you're inside. And really exciting for us, we actually rent out this dome on Hip Camp. So travelers can stay in here, get the full experience. We've had a lot of good interactions with people who stay in here. Really interesting people come and go.
People always mention that they sleep really well and have cool dreams.
Yeah.
Yes, it's something special about being surrounded by the earth, I don't know.
I slid into those DMs.
I slid into the DMs. When I was just starting this project out here, Camp Darkmoon, I was hosting workshops as I was building, so I'm building my house anyway, and if anybody wants to come and help, I'll teach you everything I know and we'll call it a fair deal. So Ivy and her dad came out one day and hung out for a while. We dug a foundation for one of the houses, and we remained friends for a while.
Well, there was a Cal Earth connection too.
Oh yeah, that's how you found me online. Yeah. Because there's not too many people doing Earthbag in New Mexico. Well, at least at the time. There are a lot more now.
We actually started our relationship long distance, and it was about a year we were long distance, and so it doesn't work for everyone, but we were okay with that, I think because we're pretty independent people. It's about a 3-hour drive from where we were. It takes its toll.
It gets old fast.
Yeah, and so I think long distance ends in one of 2 ways. You either say, we can't do this anymore, or we're gonna relocate and figure it out. So we obviously chose that option. And then kind of like an easy transition from being so separated all the time to living together. I feel like having our separate dwellings was like a nice compromise or like an in-between.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to get quality sleep when you need it. I think that conversation is becoming a lot less taboo now. There's a lot of people who just are not afraid to say, like, yeah, it's hard to share a bed with somebody every night. Like, I toss and turn a lot. We have very different sleep schedules. It just makes a lot of sense.
One, it's like we have a chance to have our own space. Like, I really need time to myself throughout the day. And then we have a chance to miss each other. And that's, I feel like, something a lot of couples don't experience anymore. You're not choosing to be together, you're just always together because you live together. I feel like our relationship's a lot more intentional.
We don't have to compromise on design choices, because it's like you do your house however you want, I'll have mine. Yeah.
And I'm a grandma.
You are a grandma.
I like to go to bed early.
And I'm a little goblin. I stay up all night playing video games and reading books.
And now I'd like to show you my tiny house. So I bought this tough shed initially. It was pretty bare bones. It's a 10 by 12 building. There was no flooring, there was no insulation, drywall. I've just been building it out from the inside, and it's been a work in progress. So I'm almost done with it. I'm really excited to be moving in here and just making it my home. All right, let's go check it out. Welcome to my tiny house. This building is 120 square feet. It's a 10 by 12 structure. I took my design inspiration from just that Santa Fe, New Mexico style. I really wanted textured, bright white walls, and I love the really dark, rich tones of the wood as well. My dad actually helped me a lot with this process. This was kind of his expertise, and so I was able to learn a lot from him, which was really fun to work together with him and also really empowering because I've taken those skills and I've worked on some stuff by myself. But yeah, so we did the flooring, just very basic wood floors. I did insulation, some drywall, and then if you can see there's a plaster. I liked that really textured kind of look of just imperfections and have a little more character. My dad built and helped me install these lofts. So those did not come with the building. So behind me, I have this giant dresser. It's kind of gonna be my kitchen slash closet area. It's a work in progress, but I will have my camper stove. This will be propane. I plan to drill a hole into the wall and have my big propane tank outside. I have this furniture. It's all been thrifted, secondhand. I've really tried to be very minimal about my costs. I just got these lights. These are actually rechargeable little LED lamps that I found. And I plan to just hang a lot of pots and pans from the loft, just really use all of the ceiling space. And I'm still kind of figuring out the layout. I think once I'm in here and I get a feel for where the light hits, I'll be a little more strategic about where I put everything. This building will be completely off-grid. As far as water goes, I can actually show you, I do have my water jugs. They're just the 3-gallon water jugs, so I will be refilling those in town. I plan to have my water station somewhere over here, so that'll just be drinking water. So the other side of my tiny house is my living room slash bedroom area. I actually found this couch at an estate sale and it was free, and it was the most exciting thing I've ever found. I specifically chose this couch as well because it has a pull-out bed, and the size of my house, it needed to be here exactly because this is the only amount of space that I can even have this bed fit on this wall. So very intentional about where I have this. And I do plan to have some shelving I'm gonna build, maybe some nightstands, or just have everything built in. I do really like the idea of just having built-in furniture and shelving, so it's like very made for the space.
Do you like to roll or float? Personally, I like to rock and roll. But seriously, does your home float or roll? If so, you can now power any tiny house, RV, or boat adventure with Renogy's amazing new 12-volt 300 amp hour Core Mini LifePo 4 battery. Beautifully designed for tight space installation because it's 31% smaller and almost 9 pounds lighter than competitors. And boy, is this little cutie powerful with over 3,800 watt-hour capacity. Connect up to 4 batteries in series, in parallel, or a mix of both to create a custom setup to meet your needs. 2 batteries provide a 7.6 kilowatt hour capacity, allowing you to run a power-hungry RV or boat for over 24 hours. With its ultra lightweight, compact design and low temperature cutoff, this innovative battery is perfect for travel, home, and emergency backup power use. Great news! It's on sale! Save big with our code TINY. See the link in the description.
I was looking for some way that I could work hard and put in effort somewhere, and it would actually get me somewhere, because you can't really do that at most jobs. If you work really hard, you just get rewarded with harder work, and it doesn't benefit you at all. But out here, if you work hard, you have a better life, and it's great. Because I have the energy, I have the drive, and there's not too many ways to put that to use where it actually benefits you the way that you want it to. But building your own house definitely is a place where hard work pays off.
I'm from California, so cost of living's really expensive there. I've been working this office job for so long, I've been able to save up, and rather than just throwing my money away at rent, I can actually be more strategic about it and just buy some land, buy my little tiny house. I was in a good position to do that. I know not everyone has that, but it just sounded a lot nicer than throwing my money away each month and not really having anything I can say is my own. And just, yeah, I also am not into that work culture, that whole like hustle kind of mindset. I wanted a more slow life out here, just be more present, and I think we definitely have that now.
I run DoorDash, and that's how I make the little bit of money that I do need, because obviously I don't have that many bills to pay out here, so like having a real job just isn't necessary.
One mixed with like the build gigs you get.
Yeah, I teach workshops, I build for people every once in a while.
I'm a barista now. I just enjoy it, so it's more like a hands-on kind of environment. They are always needed, yeah, and so I'm just like a part-time worker right now. I want to spend my energy on the camp, and then also Hip Camp, we get like a little bit of income from there, but that's more like grocery money.
Yeah, it's not a whole lot. We'll just buy snacks for the people who come, and that it affords that much. This house I finished in fall of 2023, so it's been about a year and a half. I've done 2 winters in it now, which is the real test of how comfortable a house is. It works. I'm very happy inside here, much better than previous living situations. So it's 120 square feet, 10 one way, 18 the other way. I chose this kind of football shape because it's my compromise between living in a dome and living in a square house. I still have walls that are flat enough to push furniture up against. It's really comfortable for me. I'm a big fan of this design. I think I would do it again if I had to. I wouldn't change a whole lot, even if I did have to restart. So I decided to go with burlap sandbags for this build, which was a little more expensive but a lot easier to work with. Just the surface of it is so much easier to put the mud plaster onto and to make it smooth. The build took about 6 months, and that wasn't me working full-time, but still maybe about 20 hours a week. I also taught some workshops during the time, so I had some outside help too. The amount that you save in money, you definitely spend in labor. This house weighs 40,000 pounds, and that is all sandbags that I lifted up and carried and put on the wall myself. So I've got a very strong during the process. You get in great shape doing this kind of thing. The finish on this house is just a traditional adobe mud plaster, but I also sealed it with used vegetable oil that I got from behind the Blake's Whataburger. They let me have it for free. Filled up a big 5-gallon bucket of fry grease. It smelled like French fries for a few weeks, but it does create a really good watertight seal, and it's a free and abundant material. Well, let's have a look inside. Come on in. Welcome, welcome. This is the football house. It's 120 square feet. What I did with this one is kind of combined everything I've learned in my time building with Earthbag and all the good things I know. I put it into this house and designed it exactly the way I want it to. Living in the dome, which I did for over a year, I found that I was very constricted and that the walls come in on you, so there's not a whole lot of headroom. You can't put furniture up against the walls, you can't hang things, you can't have shelves. It's just very restricting in the amount of stuff that you can have in your house. This house, I wanted to have vertical walls so I could have shelves, I could hang things from the ceiling and just have a lot more headroom. I feel like I can breathe in here much easier. I can spread my arms out. So this is the kitchen. I designed a very big counter because I do cook everything and that's really important to me. This little RV oven was a great find. Really love this thing. It's hooked up to propane on the outside. The fireplace is what got me through this winter. It's so much better than previous winters out here. Just because the first fireplace I built in this house, I built like the classic New Mexico Kiva style, made of mud bricks, tucked into the corner. So I tore that down and replaced it with this oil drum, which is just an oil drum I found at the flea market. It contained motor oil. I made sure to clean it out really well, get all the paint off, and just cut a hole in it and attach this chimney to it. And it's a fantastic fireplace. Compared to the old fireplace that had its strength and thermal mass, this has more immediate radiant heating. So you have a fire in here and immediately the whole house becomes very warm. And that's so much more comfortable. Yeah, the main priority with this kitchen is I do cook all the time, pretty much every meal I eat. So I want to have a lot of counter space. I want to have a lot of storage for foods, dry goods, vegetables. I'm pretty good at not having a fridge because I'm vegan. I don't eat meat or dairy. I don't have to worry about getting any weird diseases from rotten meat, rotten dairy. It's all just vegetables and it's really easy to tell when those go bad. I've been very smart about just collecting things and noticing like what I can make use of to save a lot of money. These cost $600 new and I just found this in an old RV, you know? It's good to be resourceful and know what's valuable when you find it, and it only took a little bit of fixing up to make it usable. So the windows, I use triangles, which I really enjoy just as a shape because they're visually appealing to me, but also they hold up very well when you're building an Earthbag house because when the form is in there and you're tamping on one side, tamping on the other side, a square form might shear one direction or the other, but a triangle will definitely hold its shape. For the windowsill here, I actually cut a mirror to size, and the cool thing about it is when the sun hits it, it actually reflects up and it disperses off the ceiling and brings a little more light into this house because it is a very dark house. So this side of the house, I'd say about a third of the living space is the bed, which I am happy with because it's nice to have a big bed in such a small house. The table I built into the walls, so it is just a big slab of wood built into the walls and, you know, they curve around it. If I have to get on a call or something or do some work in my laptop, I can just sit right up here and do my work on this little desk. I think the thing I love most about this house compared to the dome is that I can hang things from the ceiling and I can put things on the walls. Immediately what I did when I moved in here is just built these shelves. I put all my clothes, all my books up here because before I just didn't have any place to put this kind of stuff. It's really nice. What a lot of people underestimate when it comes to Earthbag is the amount of work that it really is. One thing I really like about teaching the workshops that I do is people can get a little bit of exposure. They can build a section of a wall and see if it's right for them, and also have an idea of how much work it is, because I see people all the time just design 1,000 square foot houses and they're Earthbag houses and they have no idea that'll take them like 5 years to complete, and they only get a few percentage of the way through with the house and then they have to give up on it because it's too stressful. So think small. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Learn what you can live without. You don't have to bring every modern luxury into your house that you had, you know, in your conventional life. I've learned very well to live without running water, without a microwave, without a toaster, without a flushing toilet. You can save a ton of money this way, and also just your life is simpler and you're consuming less.
As far as Camp Darkmoon, just like our whole kind of philosophy out here is we want it to just be a space for community and people to feel safe, to express themselves. We have a lot of ideas for some workshops, some just like fun events, a lot of like life skills and like resources, and just kind of, especially for young people, like an example is we want to teach people how to change a tire. I feel like that's
Yeah, simple thing that not that many people know how to do, actually.
Yeah,
But very easy to learn, very easy to teach.
yeah, so we have like ideas for that, and just a lot of like art and music and just things we're passionate about.
Yeah, years ago when I was trying to learn how to do Earthbag, I was looking out for somebody who's just building a house and could use an extra hand on it. Like, hey, I'll come and like help you out, you teach me how to do this. Like, I just want some exposure, I want to get my hands on it. But I couldn't find anything like that, so I had to go to school, which was fine. It was excellent, it was a really good education. But it cost money and time, and not everybody can do that. So now I teach free workshops, and I've become the person I was looking for years ago. And that's a cool feeling.
Yeah.
This county is very relaxed about building regulations. Legally, all the structures on this site are sheds, so I didn't need a building permit to build them. I just gave them a call and said, hey, this is what I'm doing, and they're like, oh yeah, that's totally fine. Like, they didn't even send someone to make sure. In order to be a shed, it has to be less than 120 square feet, no concrete foundation, single story. It has to be at least a 3/4 acre. I guess that's for this county specifically. I found these 2 acres for $2,000, which is incredibly cheap. It's gone up a lot since then. And then I even sold one to Ivy when she moved over here.
Yeah,
So we
I just bought it. We just transferred the
deed
or
over.
whatever.
The first dome, the guest dome, Casa Huevo, the budget for that was about $600, and I actually didn't bust it. So it's very cheap to build this way. Of course, it's a lot of hard work. This house right here was a bit of a splurge because I used burlap sandbags instead of plastic, which is about like 5 times more expensive. Still, the total cost was about $2,400. And that's, you know, I've got a real roof with a nice pond liner, gravel on top. Probably around $7,000 total for what we have right here, yeah. Not bad.
Yeah,
Not
and as
bad
far
at
as
all.
utilities go, the only thing we pay for would be our filtered water.
Yeah, our water, which costs like $3 a week.
We're on. We're on solar.
Yeah.
Propane doesn't cost much.
Propane, maybe like $40 a year. Yeah, there's a lot of little Oasis stations where you can fill up these jugs. It's super convenient.
And it's always near a laundromat,
Yeah.
seems like too.
It
Just
totally
like a
is.
one-stop shop.
Yeah, do everything you need to there.
Tough Shed was a little more expensive because when you buy it, you pay for the labor. That's the majority of the cost because they build it on site for you. So when Roan went more cheaper with more labor, I went more money, more convenience because of just my situation. But my house was about $6,000, and I went with the most I could get while still keeping it affordable. I switched out the shingles for a metal roof. I switched out the barn door for a residential door. Like, I made it a little bit nicer because I just figured in the long run it would be worth it. So that was the price of the home, and then I bought the acre from Roan for $1,000. And then everything that I've done in my house, I did the drywall, the insulation, the flooring. My dad's been a big help with my house. He's got a lot of repurposed materials and stuff we've been collecting, so I've also kept the cost down a lot. To say that I spent, what, $7,000-8,000 maybe total
Half
on
a year's rent.
on a whole
Yeah.
house and a piece of land. Yeah, but I think it is important to be transparent about the cost of everything.
Just knowing that the work I do benefits me so much more here than it would if I was living in the city, like spending all my money on rent and just going out all the time, and you know, just having to work so much and not getting much out of it. Here, it benefits me so much more. Even just a few $100 here and there, it was like,
It goes a long way.
yeah, it gets me through the whole month. If all I'm buying is food and gas, all the bills I have to pay, it's great. And having a lot more free time. Because working a 9 to 5 really just makes me sad. I'm not a good person when I work full time. Yeah, life goes by way too fast.
Oh, yeah. Ever since I've been out here, I just realized how I'm so much more present, and everything is like very finite here. The water, you have to be so mindful about, oh, the solar battery's got to charge, I can't use a bunch of light. Like, I think when you're on grid, you're very just I don't want to say wasteful, but you are just kind of like, everything will always be here all the time. I'm always gonna have tap water. I'm always gonna have power. So it has been a nice lifestyle change to just be very like intentional about everything I'm doing. I was so go, 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 and California is so high paced. I mean, I was like very high strung when I moved out here. I didn't realize it until I came out to New Mexico.
And so many people think it's just impossible to live without a lot of modern luxuries. Like they think if you can't take a hot shower, you just die. And maybe they do, but not me. Like I'm very happy to give up a lot of luxuries in order to just not work all the time and not pay rent. It's pretty easy for me to do. Because you can see in here, I don't have a fridge, I don't have a water heater, I don't have a flushing toilet. And I'm a whole lot happier than I used to be with all those things.
Thank you for watching our video and for stopping by Tiny House Expedition. I'm Alexis.
And I'm Christian. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And for more tiny home tours and stories, click the videos below.
And join us on Instagram for bonus content,
including face-to-face conversations with us. We hope to see you there.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good one.